What's going on, people? It's Mr. back again with the review show, and I'm excited. We've got the scumbags at last. At last. So, any Liverpool fans in here, defending what I say, jog on, come aboard with your moan at me, because all you gave me today is moan. We'll beat you, so I don't care. So, any Liverpool fans, jog on. If you're if you know new to the channel, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you know. And we've got a panel back on today. I'm going to start. You know what? I'm going to start with Des last. I've had enough of Des. Next, this one here, we've got Glenn. How you doing, Glenn?
Yeah, very well. Good to see you all. Can't wait for this 45 minutes hour. It's going to be immense, isn't it? Thinking back about last night and forward about the next few weeks. Looking forward to this very much.
I'm more excited than you, Glenn, if I'm honest. But it is what it
more
is.
Excited than me.
Yeah. Next to Glenn, we've got Michaela. How you doing, Michaela?
I'm more excited than all of you. I'm very excited.
I
couldn't sleep. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. I was like buzzing. And then at work, they were all like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I'm exhausted, but in a good way.
Oh, days. And as well, it's happy with International Women's Day today as well. So any women watching this, International Day.
Big up the women.
Big up the women.
Big up the ladies in red.
That's right. And last but not least, I think I'm fed up with this guy, Mr. Do Daily, as well.
He's fed up with me being running around after him all day because we've been chatting about other things. Someone trying to sort his life out for him.
That's why I got. This is why Dave is here, because he does everything for me, and now he's here again. And make sure everyone subscribe to his channel because his link is below. So yeah, hello, Des. So right, we'll talk about yesterday's game, and yes, like I said, we've got Liverpool next, and let's tell you. We'll ask you, Glenn. What's your opinion about yesterday's game? Tell me about it.
Well, I think I've got, unless you've watched the highlights or anything from the TV, I was unfortunately unable to come up. I guess you three were there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got a slightly different perspective in terms of having the opportunity to see the replays as they came in. Seeing the goal was a goal. The first, I think we won 4-1. I'm going to include Ryan Yates' goal on the final whistle. He did score. Yeah. And I'm going to include Surridge's 2 goals, one being the first, obviously, that was disallowed. Even if it wasn't 4-1, it was just 2-1. It was a convincing win, wasn't it? I thought we played to their strengths in the first half in terms of they sat back, really didn't give us much through beyond Garner in advance to Surridge until we started to create a little bit more in set piece. I think we absolutely bossed that game. I think Yates was absolutely huge, and no doubt we'll talk about him later on. I thought the back three were really strong. I thought Horvath had a cracking game again, second half particularly, with those saves at 60, 70 minutes, which, had they been at slightly different positions or had it not come off the post, I think we might have been in a slightly different position. But just a convincing win, and the atmosphere was just amazing through the TV. I wish I was there. No doubt you guys have got a slightly different impression.
That atmosphere was, I personally think it was better than Leicester and Arsenal, because that atmosphere was absolutely amazing.
And myself, it was, for last night at least, it was incredible. I wish I was there.
We'll ask Michaela, and it's been a subject that everyone's been talking about, the goalkeeper, and again, Horvath as well, 4th game in a row, and as well, he conceded a goal, but for me, I personally thought it was fantastic. What do you think, Michaela?
I think he did brilliantly. I haven't watched it back, so they look like world-class saves to me when you're there. I think he made like 3 really important saves, like crucial saves. I was a little bit nervous at times because I feel like he's more anxious than Samba would be. And I get a little bit angsty when it goes up, but I think he did brilliantly, and I think his confidence will be through the roof now. And I think it was, I'm glad. I was on the fence with who should play, but I think he did a brilliant job. So you can only do what you're asked to do, and I think he did a fantastic job last night. And I can't wait to watch the game back. I was too knackered last night to watch it, but I'm definitely going to watch it back because I want to see. I've seen the goal. That was definitely a goal. I mean, how they called that offside's unbelievable. But I think he made some key saves and he did really well.
Des, would you start him against Reading? But like I said, it's 4th game in a row, and I think it was the first half. He made a fantastic save to stop. I think it was the Welsh guy. I think it's a black version to Jack Grealish. I forgot his name now. People comment, who is it?
Stupid shin pad thing. What? Come on!
I don't know who he is.
That's this big. Yeah. You should get booked just for coming on the pitch like that. It's a joke. Sorry.
But Des, like, would you play against Reading? Because like Samba, he's world class keeper, he's one of the best keepers in the league. But what would you do, Des? People comment as well. What would you do as well?
It's a really real tough one, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, we know Samba's the number 1 goalkeeper. There is moments of anxiety, like Michaela says. The kicking, is a bit weak, and there's a bit of nervousness with Horvath. When it comes to keeping the ball out of the net, he's doing a fantastic job. Those saves yesterday were very good without being out of this world. They were very good. He's done his job. He's come in and done what he needed to do. I felt after the Stoke game, it could have been a real season-defining moment. I felt it could have ruined the season. I think the club probably feel that as well, and I think there's probably some punishment coming Samba's way. He's going to have to work really, really hard to get back in. And when he does get in, he's going to have to be right on his A game to keep all of that out, because now he's proved he's more than capable. There is little areas he needs to improve on, and his understanding with the back four. One of Samba's real strengths is his understanding now, and the way they play that the sort of the ball out and across. Horvath looks particularly nervous. Getting back to your question, I think he will start, but there will be a point. I think he'll start on Saturday, Horvath. But I think there will be a point where Samba comes back in. I think they're almost making him sweat a little bit on his place and punishing him for what was an act of stupidity. I love the guy. I absolutely love the guy. I think he's brilliant, like yourself, a top goalkeeper. I love his attitude in many ways, but it was an act of stupidity. And I think people around the club probably see it the way I said it, in terms of it could have ruined the season. And if one player can bring a season down, they've got to realise that that's what can happen. He is important to Forest. He's massive. And he makes some absolutely world-class saves. So he's going to have a part to play. But I think on Saturday, Horvath, again, might just keep his place.
I was just thinking, like their first goal, I look back on it, and would you blame the keeper, Glenn? Because like I said, it was a decent goal, but no one picked him up, did they?
No.
Head on. So would you blame the keeper?
The commentary, which you would no doubt see, is that they put the blame squarely at Cook, actually, that he didn't track across, and that the position that they all sat just off the far post, it could have come in either front post or back post. In fact, there was a player, I don't know who it was, unmarked beyond, had it been a flick on. Horvath's role there really was to demand and just command that 6-yard box and try and get anybody away. The fact that Jed was right in front of him prevented him from going anywhere, and he didn't then go across to his left, which then it would have been an obvious clear catch. So I think it was a combination of Jed marking that player that actually then wasn't involved at all, because he was then protecting Horvath, which then prevented him from going anywhere beyond the sort of 6 inches either left or right that he managed to go. So yes, to a certain extent, it's his jurisdiction, that 6-yard box, isn't it? That's where he should be working. But the fact that Jed was preventing that player from doing anything really just restricted Horvath's movement, which so yeah, to a certain extent, but it was the circumstances and the other players that perhaps dropped their markers, particularly Cook, who was watching the ball rather than the runner. And he's a key player, isn't he? He scored 2 last week, so you should have been keeping your eye on him, really.
What I'll say about that is that they were really clever at that corner. It was so hard to mark, because I watched the footage as well. I've watched the game back today, Glenn, and they all went and stood right outside the back post, didn't they?
Yeah.
So anyone from Forest who were taking up their natural positions was having to turn back and forth. So it's a really clever goal. Pardon?
I said they're a big team, aren't they? Yeah. They kind of swarmed us at that point, and it was like, you know, it
Absolutely.
looked easy from where I was sitting. It was like, oh, how did we let that in? That's how it looked to me. I was like, oh God, that's crap. You know, this is going to be a long night. That's how I also went straight to like, oh shit. But I think, yeah, I can't wait to watch it back. But yeah, from where I was sitting, it kind of looked easy. It looked like they'd done their homework, and it was like, right, flood the back, you know, the line and get it in. So
they just shown some innovation as well, didn't they, from a corner? You know, it was something different. And again, if like as the game went on, we probably dealt with it a lot better because they did it every time. It was just something different early in the match, and we weren't quite at it. It happens, doesn't it?
I was looking for the comments, and then there's quite a lot from teaching about would Samba get off Huddersfield head punched after Howard had jumped on him. I ain't got a clue. Gary, how you doing, Gary? Keep him in goal while he's playing well. Samba has earned his place back. Leaving Samba out about might stop him messing around in the future. People in the comments, who do we put in goal?
The thing with Samba though is, look, we all love it when he's being a shithouse, don't we? Everyone, like 90% of fans love that stuff, and it's kind of the reason why he's such a good keeper. He intimidates the opposition. He commands his area. He commands his area way better than the American guy. Like you feel his presence, don't you? You feel like I'm not going to. And I feel it's slightly unfair that, you know, he doesn't. I mean, he made a terrible mistake. He made the biggest clanger you can make. You get sent off and everything, but. You know, we've got to remember that he's a really good bloody keeper. He's probably one of the best keepers in the league. So we can't just kind of write him off because he made a mistake. But I love that Ethan's got in and he's done well. But I don't want to be on this bandwagon of, oh, right, that's it. Samba's out. He's finished. I think that's ridiculous. I think it's silly because he's been phenomenal for us. And we're very lucky that we got such a great keeper. We're lucky that we've got two really good keepers, and I think it could be important come with the playoffs and how many things we're going to have to, hopefully that we're going to have to play all these games. So, you know, and I hope he's not sitting there. I hope it doesn't ruin his confidence that he's being dropped. I don't think it will, because I don't think he's that kind of player. But I think it's unfair that some fans have really jumped on it and been like, oh yeah, he should never get back in. I think it's ridiculous. I think you're an absolute fool.
You know, this is the thing, right? And people in the comments as well, be honest, right? When Samba got sent off, everyone was cussing him. Saying, oh, he's not good enough. He was rubbish against Wolves. I think it was Wolves. I think he didn't play great against. Who was it? But he didn't play great against Hooton's last game. Was it Middlesbrough? Middlesbrough. Everyone was giving him great.
Horvath wasn't. No.
Yeah, Horvath. Yeah, and now
I don't think Samba was right after he got hit on the head, though. I think his kicking and stuff wasn't as good. Yeah. I think he was seriously. I think he might have had like quite a serious injury, because I didn't think his distribution was as good after that. I don't know. I'm just being mad, but
Michele.
Do you know what this reminds me of? Brian Clough dropped Mark Crossley for 2 cup finals because of something he did back in the early 90s, and it just reminds me a little bit. You wonder whether for the rest of the season, Horvath's going to have a bigger role than he imagined, because Andy Marriott played in 2 cup finals, and on the very first game the next season, Crossley was back in goal. Brian Clough said he'd served his punishment, and I wonder if it's something like going down that road.
A little bit. I think he's having his, you know, his knuckles kind of, you know, firmly tapped. I think he might have got a little bit too big for his britches. So, you know,
I agree. I think actually that's a real testament to how Ethan's training, because obviously they're comparable in ability in terms of what the keeper coaches are seeing, and that they certainly wouldn't put him in for this extra game and potentially the game on the weekend had they not seen him being, you know, worthy of that place. I think after the 3 games, had he just scraped through and perhaps, you know, had less than 1 clean sheet, they might have thrown Samba back in. The fact that Ethan's been given an opportunity to play last night, I think that's a really, you know, beneficial thing for him. And we're now talking about it being a decision that we're not sure who would play next, which is actually really great for Ethan Horvath, isn't it? That we're considering him as being on a level or comparable. Okay, he's not as good as Samba, is he? but we're saying that he's actually in the conversation. Actually, it's a really positive thing that we've got.
He
two
needs
really
that
able
experience
players.
too, doesn't he? Ethan needs
Oh, yeah,
to play.
sure.
You know, you need to play week in, week out. It's like defenders. You need to play all the bloody time to be a good defender, don't you? And keepers, it's the worst position. If you've got a good keeper, you're never, you know, and you're number two, you're never getting on the pitch, are you? So I think, you know, we're very blessed that we've got two. We've got three, actually got three good keepers, haven't we? But I think it's Joe Worrell, of course.
Did you see his gloves last week?
Joe, what? I'm telling you,
gloves
Joe
out.
Starks as a keeper, I actually think he wasn't that bad. He got a clean sheet, so you know who can say that. But I think, you know, I'm pleased for any of our players. I think you've got to support the whole team, and you know, win, lose or draw, and you've got to support. And I'm really pleased for him. I'm really pleased. He probably never would have thought a couple of 6 games ago, oh, I'll be playing, and I might potentially be playing against Liverpool or Reading, whoever it is, or last night. And I think, thank God he was good, and he actually made some decent saves.
100%. I'm just got there's a Liverpool fan in here. LFC Connor. All right, dog. Going to be hard versus Forest. It's going to be 2-1. But good luck to you lot. It's not. We'll beat you. We'll beat you lot. We're ready. We're ready for you lot. We're ready for you lot. Just a few details, and we're going to mention Sturridge first goal for the club. I think he needs that goal. But the man himself, Ryan Yates. You know what? It could be a Ryan Yates show. I'll be talking about him most of the time. But
phenomenal.
Legend. The legend.
He was unbelievable, wasn't he? He was. I wasn't. Look, everyone knows I've always loved Ryan, but I've never last season, I didn't love Ryan, didn't love his football. I think whatever Cooper's done, he's playing some ridiculously good football. It's so nice to see. Some of his passing and distribution and heading the ball has been like your jaws on the floor, and you're like, he was superb last night. Controlled the whole game. He was brilliant.
What was I say? Sturridge, first goal season. That must be good for his confidence, isn't it? Like, just 12 games to go, and him scoring his goal, it's going to give him confidence in it.
Absolutely, and we've all seen he's coming in and he's done a brilliant job. The one thing that, if we're really, really honest, was concerning us was his finishing. We've seen a couple of chances wasted. And not important ones, so it does make a difference, although they're still there to be taken. When we're leading games, he's come on and he's probably skied one when he could have hit the target. So there was a little concern about his finishing, and is he going to, if anything happened to Davis, or like last night, he probably needed a little bit of a rest. Could he come in and do the business? And I thought he was brilliant again. He's absolutely fantastic at holding the ball up, and he's deceptively quick. The way he gets in front of players, it's not like he's just holding the ball off. He's getting in front of his man, and a lot of strikers don't do that. He plays off the front foot. He plays on his toes. He wants stuff to happen, and I think there's a bit more to him than just being a target man. I think he's the kind of player, if he gets on a run of goals, if he perhaps nicks 1 or 2 in the next couple of games, he's the kind of player that could probably go on a bit of a run and score 6 or 7 goals. And if he did that before the end of the season, that would be massive. That would be, if he gets 4 or 5 goals, that would be massive to the promotion push, because we know he's probably going to play second fiddle to Davis. But the finish last night, it was absolutely brilliant. I sit in the Bridgeford stand, of course, at the top, and the way he hit it so hard across the goal, I thought he was passing it. And I thought, how's the man going to get onto that? But it was such a tight angle, I couldn't see that it was actually going in the top corner. And I'm like, he's just blasted that. It's going to go out of play. And it bounced off the top corner. I thought, what a goal that was. So I think he's got a lot to offer. And I think he's going to be one of those players who you look back on and think he played a really important role at times. If we need to nick a goal late on to jump up into 6, or an away point here or something like that, I think he's going to be absolutely vital. Of course, Graben is not a million miles away, so that adds a little bit more into the equation. But I definitely think he's got a part to play, and I like what I see. As I mentioned, the one thing that was concerning me was his finishing. He proved to us last night he can finish.
There's a super chat from Kid Red, and this is for you, Michaela. Michaela, you need to lock Yates in your cupboard.
I'm gonna have a restraining order. You see, you won't see me, and they'll be like, "She's been arrested."
Is that where Matt is now?
That's where Matt is. I've had to lock Matt in the cupboard. He's very bit hurt that I was asked.
If no one knows the story, Michaela's got I don't know people in her cupboard, but she's got quite a lot of Forest players on her in her cupboard. So
all low knees, aren't they?
Yeah, all low knees. So yeah. So, people, if you want to stay in Michaela's cupboard, feel free. And there's quite a lot of people in there. But yeah, thank you for the £1.79 as well. Kieran, thank you, Kieran. Glenn, right, the mighty man. We're talking about the mighty man now. Right, Michaela, I need to tell Matt. I need Ryan Yates there. I've had enough. Ryan Yates is coming here. I've had enough. He's coming here. So Matt, if you're watching this,
signed a new contract.
Yeah, if Matt, if you're watching this, get him Ryan Yates. He's going right there. Get
like a big sticker.
I don't care. I need a new one. It needs to be updated. Glenn, talk about Ryan Yates, and he took his goal well. And this guy is getting better and better by the day, isn't
he? He is. He's finally adding goal scoring.
And he's third top scorer. He's third top scorer as well.
To the repertoire of what we've seen as being a player that under Cooper has been, let off the chain in terms of his forward play. He's no longer standing and, with boos, turning and playing balls back. He's looking forward. He's always playing through the channels. He nearly scored a striker's goal last night. It was a fantastic, actually, tackle, wasn't it, against him just before Surridge scored. I thought he might be a penalty, actually, but it was an immense tackle.
I did. I was shouting penalty.
And now getting into positions where he's really threatening in that almost 8-10 role. He's playing into that space. The goal he took incredibly well. I think it was a well-worked goal. That him and Garner are working together really well. One goal, one assist, one goal each. The last couple of matches, isn't it? And he's just developing into this player. No doubt we'll talk about Henderson later on, but he's got this Henderson-esque quality about him now, and he's obviously taking his opportunities. I heard someone say last week about his 50p head. It's not pinging off every random.
It's a pound now. It's
right,
a pound.
Right.
It's a pound now.
You might have seen the last couple of games. Just his sight on the ball, and he's watching it right onto his head both times. He's no longer snatching it, and he's not trying to get ahead of it. And he's just a quality, and no doubt the confidence that comes with that is just going to make him, and the point you made just before we started talking, Michaela, actually, I think that contract is really important for him this season, because it's something that gives him a rubber stamp to say, you are within our, one of our own, but you are within our future plans. And if we don't give him that contract, he's also one of that list, lock him away, but one of that list that are potentially going to be moving elsewhere if we don't secure his 4 or 5 year on a contract, because I can see him going elsewhere if he, I don't think so, and I don't hope so, and I'm sure that the Forest man through and through will stay, but I wouldn't be surprised if he starts getting some interest as well, along with other players that we've got. Just the way he's improving, significantly this season. Like, I've always been a real advocate for him, and I've always loved the way he plays. And I've said
not like me, not like
when we first started talking 18 months ago.
Glenn, not like me. I've been consistent. Everyone knows when I do my podcast, I've been consistent about Ryan Yates. So I love you lot. Podcast people want to think you're number one Ryan Yates. Even you, Lisa Fox. I'm number one Ryan Yates fan. I had an argument with Lisa Fox yesterday. I had a fight with Lisa Fox and say I'm number one. I'm number one.
I don't know.
Seeing his development, it's just fantastic. It's just
I think the thing with Yates as well is we've been told for so many years that he's a good player by different managers, and we couldn't see it in the way we see it now. Again, I kind of sat on the fence a lot, if I'm honest, with Ryan Yates in the past. But he's now being coached. You can tell he's being coached. He always got in those positions to score headers.
Always, yeah.
But you've already alluded to the 50p head sort of comment. He always got in the positions, but now, like Glenn says, he's doing the right thing. You see him sort of running forward rather than looking to go back. A lack of confidence, the easy option was the goalkeeper or the centre backs, and now the confidence and the relationship he's got. Firstly with Colback, but also with Cooper. At the end of all the celebrations in every game, it's always Yates and Cooper on the pitch, hugging each other, talking as they walk off the pitch. So he's obviously got an absolutely fantastic relationship with Cooper. And I wouldn't be surprised in the next couple of seasons. We don't know what's going to happen with Grabban. We don't know what's going to happen with Worrell, whether he'll still be at the club. I wouldn't, and it's an obvious assumption, but I think because of this relationship, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the captain sooner rather than later. Because and now all his abilities coming out.
Yeah. Did you see the post-match interview that the gaffer did with ITV, where he was asked about Yates, and as if it was a new thing and no one had seen it, and Cooper was very like, no, this is how we've seen him playing. This is the Ryan Yates that we always hoped he would become, and it's no surprise to us. It might be to TV audiences or other people that have just started to watch the cup run, but this is how we've seen him train. He eats the right things. He looks after himself. He's the first one in, last one out. All that really high praise. Just
one last footnote on Ryan Yates. He was also on the bench, and he didn't sulk. He didn't mope about. Cooper probably picked a horse for a course. He probably felt in certain games. Garner and Zinkenagel and Colback might be the option, and he one or two games, the Stoke game, come on, scored. Sheffield United scored. It's massive, isn't it? And it's massive for his own personal confidence when he could have moped, he could have moaned. You see it all through football, and he came on, did the business, and last night put in an absolutely sort of barnstorming performance.
100%. There's 88 people in. I said. In the comments, what do you think? Do you think Ryan Yates will get a contract? For me, you want to know the answer. 100%. I don't need to give it.
He'll get a 3-year contract. We'd be fools. He is Forest, isn't he? So you need those guys in the dressing room that understand it. And he's a kid to me, but that young man understands Forest. He understands the fans. His relationship with Cooper is phenomenal, and Cooper's got him playing the best football of his life. And we would be. I'm almost positive they'll offer him a big contract, and it'll be well deserved.
There's another player I'll mention that, and I think he was against Sheffield United as well. Zinkenagel, Glenn. I personally think he's better coming off the bench because I think when we've got these players, we've got Garner, Yates, and Colback. Like Colback was on the bench yesterday, but. Again, I don't think he was greatest today. Like from the
again, could he?
He was to me, I like him. I think he's a luxury, and I think everyone else has that intensity. I think Cooper gets them to play with this intensity, and he frustrates the absolute bejesus out of me. I think he's a brilliant player, but off the bench, yes, I think he's an off the bench kind of guy. Come on, give us 20 minutes of your best, but. I don't know. I like him, but I don't like people was, they're giving him a standing ovation stuff. I mean, everyone bloody deserved it yesterday, but I think he's not, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on him. I'm not sure if I love him or hate him. And he's had some really good chances. Like Brennan got slated for missing that penalty, but Zink's missed.
It was awful. It was awful.
I think good, brilliant chance. I think he's a bit selfish too. I don't think he thinks sometimes he thinks, oh, I'll take it when he should pass it back, and he doesn't do it. And I think I thank God we haven't suffered too badly because of it. But yeah, I'm divided on him.
What about you, Glenn? Well, I'll get Des got a little smirk on his face.
I'm going to sing his praises to a certain extent. Actually, I think you're right. I think the way that the midfield is forming, I think he's becoming a player that obviously has a place. I think the way he played against Sheffield United on Friday night, that 80-yard inch perfect tackle was a real, I don't know, I didn't even know until the tackle and it showed his face on the screen. Again,
he needs to do that more though.
Right.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised that he struggled to get into the game yesterday, and he was nowhere. And I saw Matthew's tweet actually at halftime, just missing in action. Just where was he? I think he plays a little bit more to his strengths, and his strengths are obviously playing the balls in really key positions. And he just needs to work on a few things. I think that final opportunity to score that he took, but blazed over the was it about 80 minutes or something on Friday night, just epitomizes the end of his game. And then he obviously came off and we made some really critical subs. And I think Joe Lolly, for example, came on and really played a good 12, 15 minutes in that game at the end. But I wouldn't be surprised if he started to be rotated a little bit more. I have a lot of faith in the fact that he's playing really well, but we need to play him in certain times of the game. And I agree, actually, that coming on perhaps at 30 minutes to go with Surridge would perhaps just add an extra dimension in the last 30 minutes, perhaps when defenders are starting to get tired and he can start to be a bit more threatening.
There's 94 people in. If you want to ask any questions to the panel, if you're new to the channel, please do hit the like button. Des, there's been today. I think there's been reports like I've seen Davis's post. He loves that Forest, and I think he's been playing great. And this is for you, Des, and to the panel as well, and as well in comments as well. Do you think Davis should sign for Forest? He's been fantastic for us. So
Absolutely,
1,000,000%.
Yes.
Again, he's when he came in, just a bit like Surridge, we were questioning his goals, and he's not absolutely on fire in terms of his goal scoring record. But what he does, in moving the ball from one part of the pitch to another, the way he kind of does that drop of his shoulder and takes out two men, and it's just changing. It's turning the game around. It's what you're just talking about, Zinkernagel. It's what he should be doing at times. 100%. Bringing that play from the midfield up to the striker. I wonder at times whether when Graben comes back, whether they're going to form some kind of a partnership. Because it's almost like now Davis is a link, but he's so strong, so agile, he can do that role. I think, again, goals will come. The more confidence in the team, if that sort of holding that number 10 role's kind of sorted out a little bit more. I personally like it when James Garner plays in that role. And the reason I mention this, sort of going back to the Zinkernagel debate, is because I think Davis plays further up the pitch when James Garner's further up the pitch. I like him at number 10 because, firstly, because Colback and Yates are playing, which I've got all my trust in, but also the fact that he's got a better final ball, Garner. So playing slightly freer, slightly further forward, I think he becomes a 10 times better player. I'm not saying he's an out-and-out number 10, but it's just in the Championship with the way he's proving now Premiership quality. Whether he's quite ready to take that step is another debate, but he's proving quality. And I think when he's on the pitch, he can find better passes forward, and that gives Davis an opportunity to get in the box. And that's what we need. Because if that guy's in the box, like the Leicester game, when he knocked that one down for Zinkernagel, it was pure strength. That's where we need him. Doesn't matter if he's scoring, if he's nodding one down for someone else to tap it in. And the more we can get players forward, the higher up the pitch we can get him. Go back to that Millwall game when we was getting absolutely battered in the first half. And when he got a hold of the football, he was actually playing out towards the left, which he tends to do quite a lot. But he started running at them. They went on the back foot. The game's changed. If Davis has a lot of the football, Forest are in charge. Sheffield United, He was an absolute animal, wasn't he? You know,
Yeah.
and he had them on the back foot. We had them on
They didn't know
toes.
what to do with him, did they? They were like,
We were miles better than Sheffield United. I don't care what anyone says. I think with confidence, and when the penny drops, we would walk through this league. If we could keep the squad together next season, we would walk it.
Yeah.
But
when you have a start like we had, it handicaps you so badly, doesn't it? If we just hadn't had, if we'd won half the games we lost under old boring bugger, we would be okay. So you know,
that's the point with Davis, isn't it? The problem is right now we're dealing with players till the end of the season. Of course, we want to sign Garner, we want to sign Brennan Johnson, we want to sign Joe Worrell, we want Davis because it's working. You know, we know Graben is in the twilight of his career, whether he gets a new contract or not. We know he's coming down. We know he's still going to score goals. So imagine having him, an hungry young guy, and then the guy who offers that different dynamic in Surridge. For me, that's a quality championship front three.
That's goals, isn't it?
So yeah, I'd love us to sign him. That's the long and short of it.
I don't think he would be that expensive, will he? Although I think his price tag's gone bloody through the roof now.
Absolutely. I think all them players have gone.
I know. I've never known. Yeah, but I think that his strength is unbelievable. Like just the way there was a point in the game last night. I can't wait to watch it again where he did that run and he did a cross and we almost scored. It was right near the end of the first half.
When Jed Spence got to the end of the long cross that Jono flicked on a little bit to him,
it was like, but the way he beat it was poetry. I think he's going to be a phenomenal player. I really do. I mean, like you say, I think even the goals, I don't think it matters. Just the way he plays football. He's a good footballer, isn't he? The way he holds the ball up and the way he can just give our other strikers chance to breathe is phenomenal. I really like. I think his confidence as well is growing every game. He just gets better and better, doesn't he? So, which is brilliant.
He's finally played 90 minutes as well, hasn't he, against Sheffield United? So
I think I wonder if it's
why he didn't play all the game or most. He didn't start yesterday. He's now match fit, if you like. He's now playing a full game.
Good comment. How you doing? Mark really wants his Sturridge and Davis together. That could be a thing. Like, you know. Brennan,
I think they might be too similar in that respect. Actually, I think they both play on that left-hand side. I think they both play very similar. Sturridge is quite not the strong, as strong as Davis in that respect, but I think they're very similar. So I would as well, but I think they might not necessarily complement each other.
One from Callum Davis is so unselfish, but sometimes he shouts for him to shoot. But such a good player, good playmaker. I don't know. It's hard to get the ball off him. It's hard to get the ball off him. Like, what do you want him to do?
Blackburn was crazy, wasn't it? When he got knocked off the ball, got knocked to the floor, and then played it through for Garner. That was just ridiculous.
Dora, Mrs. hates football, but she loves watching my match day vlogs. Shout out to Rob Garner's missus. Thank you. There's a Liverpool fan. Forest will beat Liverpool. I know that's Luca. That's an Arsenal fan. I know who he is. Luca.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? It's going to be. I don't think really. If we lose but we play well, we won't care. They'll want to beat us so badly. It will be such a banana skin for them if they. So I think, we're going to win. Someone told me to put a fiver 100 to 1, and I didn't do it. And now I feel like a bit of a fool. But
don't be fool. Like, at the end of the day, people, we beat Arsenal, we beat Leicester, we beat Huddersfield. Why not? Why can't we beat Liverpool? That's something that we can talk a little bit later on the show, because we're confident. We're under Cooper, and we're doing well. And it is what it is. Right. I'm sorry. I'm going to give these comments as well. One from Dean. Grabbing and Sturridge are on deals. Days will go back end of the season. He won't play for what? That we want enough. He's proven less active every game for me. Folks, see what he's about. What? Sorry,
I
Dean.
think you need to. I think you need to have a lie
Proven
down, Dean.
less effective
Dean.
every game.
I don't think Dean's going to the games.
Dean,
If you can't see he's a good footballer, you're an absolute.
Dean, do me a favour. Come back, rewrite that message, and then something nice. But it's people's opinion. Here's what it is. But yeah. What? Talking about Martin Clifford, Garner's on. Yeah. Look, I'm talking about this role. Like Kobach's on the bench. And this is for you, Michaela. Kobach's on the bench, and I think he was fantastic left back against Sheffield United. Was you surprised he was on the bench?
No, I think he's getting a bit older now, and I think you've got to trust Cooper, haven't you? Like sometimes you're like, oh God, he hasn't brought on a sub, and he hasn't. Like you're getting all tense, but I trust him, and I think Colback, he's getting into his 30s now, probably needs a bit of a rest, and actually it worked okay without him, didn't it? I didn't feel he made quite a big mistake last night. I was shocked. It was a once in a lifetime in the middle. Remember when they almost scored at the other end? But that was one off. But I always like to see Colback in because I feel like I can relax more when he's playing. But last night, because Yates played so well, I didn't really miss him. I wasn't like devastated that he wasn't playing. It wasn't. I think that's testament to the other guys. And I thought James Garner had a really good game too. I think Matt and I had a bit of a disagreement about it, but I think he had an okay. I think he had a great.
What was your disagreement? Tell us. What was your disagreement?
Well, no, I think Matt didn't think he was.
Matt always says that. Though. This is the thing about Matt. He comes to this channel and he always says this play wasn't good. You know,
he likes.
Matt's brutal honest.
Last night he was so happy. He was almost it was brilliant. Look, no one played badly, really, did they? The whole team turned up. But I think Garner's, they're completely different beasts, aren't they? I don't think you can compare the players at all, those two. Like Garner and Colback to me are different beasts, in my opinion. So but like Colback is someone I'd always put on in the team just because I trust him and I know no one's going to get bloody past him. Like if he needs to make that foul, he's going to make it. Like I know there's guys that's in front of me that absolutely hate him. Like every time he touches the ball, they're like, "Oh, here we go, yellow card." I don't think they understand how important he is in some games where you need that guy that's going to do it. And I don't think Garner does that role. I don't think he'll make those intelligent, like those challenges that an old pro like him will do personally. But I didn't mind him not playing though, because I thought we had a good half. So, and he came on and he did well. So,
I was looking at from Paddy Iris. How you doing, Paddy? Thoughts on some stories full debut door. Let me we spoke about, haven't we? Glenn, let me tell you, Glenn, what do you think about it? Like that's his full debut? What do you think? Like I said, we got Reading next, and there's always going to be the debate with him and Davis. But would you start him against Reading because Reading not been playing well? And would you start him over Davis?
I'd start him.
Over Davis.
I'd bring Davis on for the last probably 40 minutes.
Wow, people in comments. What, do you agree or disagree with Glenn?
Just as he's been playing before. I think Surridge has deserved his start last night. I don't think it was a mistake. The fact that it wasn't a cup game, it wasn't a league game. I think he deserved his start. And had he not had it been a league, it was a goal, but had it been awarded, he would have deserved the brace that he got. I think he got himself in the right position for the first one. And he took the second one really well. I think that I can't remember the game actually. It might be 6 or 7 games ago. It might be his first time he come on as a sub. He got himself in a very similar position, opened his body, but played it over the top and didn't quite hit the target. I think that the confidence he's developed from the last couple of games when he's come on, he's been bright, and he was bright from the very first minute. He was well worth a start, and I think he'd be really pleased with the way he played, and the fact that he got his goal. I think that's certainly going to set himself up for the next start. And I hope he goes on and, like you said, scores 10 or so goals this season. It'll be well worth it.
Oh, let's go through these questions again. This is for you, Des. Do you think Grabban will go straight back in? But if say yes, why can't Samuel then? Because Davis and Sturridge are playing well, so that makes it fair. What do you think about that comment, Des?
I don't think Grabban will naturally walk straight back into the team because it's been quite a serious injury. I think he'll probably come off the bench and he'll make a few substitute appearances and he'll start again before the end of the season. He'll be an integral part because he's a goal scorer. And when you're pushing for the playoffs in the top of the league, you need your goal scorers in the team. But I don't think it's the same scenario, is it? Grabban didn't put someone in the face. Grabban got injured. It was misfortune. The difference with Samba is the fact that he did something a bit stupid. Personally, if I were picking the team on Saturday, despite what I said before, saying I think Horvath will play, I would play Samba because it's the bread and butter time of the season. You know, it's the end of the season. Every
must win as well, isn't it?
It doesn't matter that Reading are going out with a whimper. You know, it's the championship as well, isn't it? It don't work like that. So personally, I'd play Samba. I'd put him back in. Yes, fine him, give him the biggest lecture, tell him if he does it again, all these things, you know, make sure it doesn't happen again. I'm sure all that's happening. I'm sure that's happening in the background, you know, and they're talking to him and he probably knows what his punishment is now. He probably knows when he's coming back almost.
Yeah.
So I would put Samba in, but I think those two scenarios in that comment are completely different, aren't they? One's because he got sent off and one's because he picked up an injury.
Yeah.
I don't think Grabban will walk straight back into the team anyway, particularly with Davis doing his role. What you'd almost see is Davis playing for 60, 70 minutes, Grabban coming on. If that don't work out, Sturridge coming on as well, you know, and you might see a lot of the time if we've got to push for the goal, and of course, the longer the season goes on, it's going to be about picking up 3 points. So you might see 2 of them, you might even see 3 of them on the pitch at times, you know, and really sort of going for games. So it's going to be interesting how it all pans out.
There's 98 people in the comments. Where are you watching this vlog? I'd like to know where you're watching this live stream.
I think Grabban's a great sub too. How many times has he come on in a
Arsenal?
like? Because he's been left out and scored a goal. Like
Arsenal. Did he come on against Millwall?
I think he did. Did
he come on against
Millwall? He
Millwall?
hasn't in the past. He came on once against Millwall and scored twice, didn't he?
Yeah, that was 2 seasons ago, wasn't it? 2 seasons ago, wasn't it?
You can't look. Grabban scores goals, doesn't he? And I think and he's getting older and stuff, and I think if he's coming back from the injury, they're not going to throw him straight back in for 90 minutes, are they? When you've got these 2 young guys just doing so well, and you've got Brennan playing like a beast. So I think, but Grabban on the bench, bit of experience, a bit of, you know, you need a goal. You'd put some money on it, wouldn't you? You'd be like, you'd feel confident if he came on, he'd give it his all for the last 15 minutes, wouldn't he? So, you know, Grabban's been immense for this club.
As he slows down, and it's just a natural thing, it's not a criticism, as he slows down as a footballer, he's going to be more effective at the end of football matches coming on fresh, isn't he? It's just nature, it's just life.
It's just life, exactly. But an older Grabban with that experience and that, you know, he's got an eye for goal. Last 10 minutes against a tired team, but you know the way we play, we exhaust teams, don't we? Like Huddersfield last night looked like they were going to die when they came off the pitch. I think, you know, I think that would be a really nice proposition to have him on the bench. Personally, I'd rather have him on the bench than Mighton. Personally, I'd rather have an old Grabban who can come on and score a goal than someone like that. So.
I think you made a good point there about we ran Huddersfield off the pitch in the first 20 minits of the second half. They couldn't get out. They couldn't get out. They
looked like, didn't they? They looked exhausting.
And if you're bringing Grabban into that scenario with the legs of Garner and Johnson and Spence, you know, he's going to get those opportunities, isn't it? You know, the ball's flashing every single game. There's balls flashing across the front of goal. We know Grabban can be inclined to miss the odd sitter, but the more of them he gets,
Yeah.
the more he's going to stick away.
When you've got those kids can run for days, can't they? So Graben's never had that kind of service, has he? So it's going to be a pleasure. It's going to be
really
fantastic.
interesting. Graben, how would Graben have taken that shot that Garner almost put out for a throw-in?
Yeah. And Spence.
At times he would do exactly the same. But
Yeah.
a lot of them as well.
Side netting,
But 9 times out of 10, he's scoring those, isn't he?
Yeah.
Look, that guy has scored us a lot of bloody goals. He scored goals playing for the worst managers. So, you know, I always, no matter how crap Graben can have a game, you have to remember that. Like, that guy's turned up for us, and we owe Graben. We owe him a lot. So he's done a good job for our club. So it would be I would absolutely love it if he was on the bench and he scored a goal that got us into the playoffs, because it would be well deserved, in my opinion.
You know what's thinking, and this is such a good debate, because we're talking about Graben, he's injured, and we've got a team that keeps winning the games as well without Graben as well. And we've got, I've seen the comments as well. We've got players that we signed still can't get in the team. So it's good to have a good squad, because, like I said, if we was losing, if we had Chris Hooton, we'd be chopping and changing and this and that and over. But winning, and like Graben will be back. Is it 4? Was that for 3 or 4 weeks? It should be around that time,
back. Didn't they say he's coming back in like 3 weeks?
After international duty.
I think he said 6 to 8. It might be more like 10 in the end, mightn't it?
Yeah.
Because it was also than they
weeks ago,
thought.
Yeah, and this is what's good. It's good, like I said, we've got a good team that's winning as well. And it's good to see, like, Graben is a goal scorer. Like, he's 34 years old now, I think he is. But it's good debate. Right, we're talking about Liverpool, and if everyone knows, Liverpool lost 1-0. So they must be thinking about Forest. So, yeah, sorry, Liverpool fans. I just don't like you. Simple as that. But yeah. Sorry, I can't help it. I've been waiting for this for 23 years, people. I can't help it. The younger generation, like all of us, will know the history about Forest and Liverpool. But Des, talk to some of these people. They won't understand the rap between Forest and Liverpool, will they?
Well, it just goes all the way back, doesn't it? And I can't remember, and that must be a long time ago when it started.
Right, Des is lying. Listen, right, Des is the oldest person here. He does understand the history.
How old are you, Des?
I don't think so.
How old are you, Des?
41.
You liar!
Person here.
You liar, Des. Des is
46.
I'm 45.
I'm 46.
Oh, there you go. So
anyway,
Des is the bloody second youngest.
47
anyway,
47 next Tuesday. 46 next Tuesday.
He looks 47, but he's actually I'm joking.
46 next Tuesday.
Talk about rivalry, man. What like?
So obviously it goes back to the European Cup, doesn't it? When Liverpool won everything, and we got in the way. We got in the way, didn't we? We annoyed them. And for what I'm told over that period, because that was when I was born, is whilst we didn't often beat them, they never beat us either. You know, there was a lot of draws. Of course, we got the famous who put the ball in the Scarce's net, and Gary Birtles scoring at the City Ground, you know, when we went and won the European Cup tie when they were favourites. We beat them in the first round. And then, of course, as the 80s went on, we played them in a lot of semi-finals, 2 FA Cup semi-finals. I think everybody knows about the last one, the last time we met in the FA Cup. But it just kind of stems from there, doesn't it? And Liverpool still sing, "We hate Nottingham Forest," and they get a certain response. Told that we don't like them either in a certain fashion. But it's a funny one, you know. That it's a funny rivalry, isn't it? Because a lot of young kids don't know about it. Yeah. It's just a small window in time where we have been rivals, but it reminds us all of the last time we was consistently good. Do you know, for me, I hate them more than Derby. You know, this is what I've been waiting for. I was excited last week, and people was going, "Oh, Huddersfield, blah blah blah." I don't care. I wanted to be excited about the prospect of facing Liverpool. Yeah, I didn't disrespect Huddersfield, but the thought of this fixture written down on a piece of paper, when you see the fixture card now, Nottingham Forest versus Liverpool, it looks real. It looks proper. Huddersfield versus Liverpool's not got the same ring.
Exactly.
You know, this is proper football, and I've seen. We know Liverpool are a massive club. You know, I don't disrespect that. I've not got much respect for them, but I don't disrespect. They're a massive club. You know, they've won everything. They've done that. I just want us to have a chance at them. Their fans will come expecting to win, and I want them to toddle off back up the M6 with the tail between the legs. I've seen Liverpool fans get thrown in the Trent in my time because they never know when to shut up. And I've actually
Des, you know how many times I went from my brother over the Trent? So many times. You know,
Don't violence. Don't violence.
Listen,
Is your wait Is Guy Dore a Liverpool fan?
Someone's got to have a Liverpool in the family, don't they? He's a Liverpool fan.
I actually used to like him.
I hate him.
That's it.
Since he, guys,
he's a nice guy too.
Guys, watching this.
Guy.
My mum took me and my brother to the first Liverpool game. Here he is. I told you. Yes, here he is. And
Guy.
I sport Forest. He sports Liverpool, and we have never liked him since.
So ashamed.
Can I just say, though, the man over your left shoulder, is it, scored the winning goal on my birthday when I was 11. I loved him. I loved him for it. You know, absolutely brilliant goal. Scarce to himself. But since then, it's just all been about let's beat them. Let's do them. I don't care if we get beat 10 times by them. I just want to see it happen again.
Yes. And look, they're one of the best teams in the world, aren't they, at the moment? If we can, I think our football, I think sometimes it's not that much of a.
It'll suit Michaela. I think the way they play football, it'll suit Forest. Because
yes, I think we've always played better against better opposition, Forest, haven't we? If someone's really crap, we find it hard to play against them. It's bizarre, but it's true. And I think they'll be so up for it. I mean, I don't know. Do you think they're going to play a full strength squad? Do you think we're going to see Mo Salah and stuff?
Because I think it'll be mixed.
Yeah, I do too.
They'll play a strong side. They can play a reserve side, and it's still going to be a strong side. So it doesn't mean nothing because they're let's be real. They're a good side. They're best in the world. That front
they have some phenomenal. It's ridiculous. They're one player could probably buy a whole club, couldn't it? I mean,
Thiago in that midfield. Hence,
Trent's unbelievable. Like these people they're gods, aren't they? I want to just see them. I want to see us playing. But I think our players and our fans are going to be they're going to be so ready for it. The noise in the city ground is going to be ridiculous. Amazing. They're going to shit their pants when we sing one of Kintyre. It's going to be. They're not going to know. They're not going to remember how good we were, our atmosphere and things. We're different. You know, we haven't played each other for so long. I think it's going to be brilliant. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
The reality is we could get stuffed. The reality is
we could lose 9-1 or something.
We've got a free hit now, an absolute free hit. Every game in the cup has been a free hit because
we don't care, do we?
But
look,
we've got a chance.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was reading this comment by Mark. I don't want them to embarrass us to be potential dwell. It's not because it's not going to do well all season because, like someone said, it's a free hit. We beat Arsenal. We beat Leicester. I'm not saying Liverpool are on the same level as Leicester or Arsenal,
but look, Arsenal have won it the most. Leicester are the current holders. Huddersfield haven't lost in 18 games. We've got, and look, if we lose 5-0, but we play well, we're going to still be proud of them because we're Forest fans and we love this team. So no matter what happens this season, I think Cooper's given us back something that we haven't had for a long bloody time. So
Michaela was bottom of the league when he first came. Forest need to remember
we were rock bottom.
We were rock bottom of the league,
Yeah.
and now from since he's come in from now,
that guy can do no wrong. If we lose all the next games, I still think he's given us something that we haven't felt for a long, long time, hasn't he?
Okay. Someone Richard said she
Shut
can
up,
rub it on.
Richard. Happy International Women's Day, Richard.
Richard.
No picture, Richard.
Richard,
Bit of a scaredy cat.
Richard, show your face because Michaela's not.
Show your face because I'm gonna. Yeah, you'll be in the trend with the Liverpool fans.
Listen, don't mess with Michaela because she's got a hard punch. Don't mess with her. Don't mess with her. She'll put you, Richard. She'll put you in a cupboard. She'll put you in a cupboard, Michaela. I mean, Richard.
I haven't got space for Richard in my cupboard. He'd be in the shed with all the spiders.
Oh right, right. Last but not least, I'm asking you, Glenn. I said it's a massive rival for as Forest fans against Liverpool. So, what are you excited because we're back playing against Liverpool?
I am actually adding to what Ded was saying. I can't stand Liverpool either. I think the way that we were playing, the League Cups that we were winning, the 88-89 season, and the fact we couldn't play in Europe those 2 years because of the ban on Europe was a massive factor, I think, in the way that our club played in the 90s and the issues that we had. I think we would have been a completely different team had we played in Europe in those 2 years. And the fact that it was taken away because of, it's awful situation at Heysel Stadium and the 30-odd that died there, Juve fans. I think the way that I can't stand Liverpool fans. I can't stand the team. I can't stand that side of Liverpool at all. I've got some very good mates who are Everton fans. I'm sorry, I can't stand the team at all.
Glenn, I can't stand
you because I was thinking that and I got distracted. But I felt for many years, and I shouldn't because they're always the victim. I felt they robbed me of watching a top football team. But that's life. We've had plenty of opportunities to come back since. So that's we're of similar age, me and Glenn, although I'm a bit younger. So
Glenn, Gary says, "Go on, Glenn. Don't hold back."
You asked me.
I thought the end was the nice one.
Michaela says, "Michaela, I love you. I don't know what you've been drinking."
What I will say is we've got nothing to lose, and they've got a quadruple to lose if they. I don't know I don't know what bearing tonight's result would have on them through the Champions League, but they've got a lot more to lose.
Glenn. They're through. Right. They lost 1-0. They lost 1-0, but they're through aggregate 2-1.
I don't care. We've got nothing to lose, and they've got everything to gain. And as a result, as long as John Aldridge don't play, I think we'll be all right. Because he seems to have played quite well against us in the 80s.
And that's another very good reason to beat them, isn't it?
Exactly. We want to beat Liverpool.
Can I just say, I don't want to get too boring on tactics, but it's going to be really interesting how we approach this game because Liverpool, for me, are the strongest when they're defending. Not in terms of defending. They get the ball out to Salah and Mane, and it's in the back of the net before you've even watched them cross the halfway line. So, and that's really interesting because Forest's strength for me and the way we've attacked these Premier League teams is go toe-to-toe with them. We've used Johnson and Spence to go high up the pitch to push them back. But it's going to be interesting how Cooper attacks this game because we know if we do that, they could spring and score any second.
Counter.
So it'd be interesting to see whether he goes a bit more defensive, takes the press out, might go four at the back or something like that. We won't know until the day. We won't know until the match starts. But I'm really sort of intrigued as somebody who watches that kind of thing. I'm really intrigued on how we'll set up against them. And if Salah and Mane play against Worrell and McKenna, who are not the most mobile, it might turn into more of a defensive game than we've seen against the other two Premier League teams, especially.
Right. I think that's it, people. It's been a great show yet again. But like the Liverpool fans, we're coming for you, and I still hate you lot. You got Derby, but then you got Liverpool. I can't stand Liverpool. There's so much. Yeah, I've had enough of Liverpool fans. Can't wait for you next Sunday. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be brilliant.
It's gonna be buzzing. I think the atmosphere is gonna be mad because, like I said, it's been how long is it since last time I played? Was it 97, 98? We're drawing 2-2. And there's a stat as well. Liverpool have not beat us at City Ground. Does I know? Is it what was the stat? 6 games at home. I think it was Glenn, you're a stat man. You should know all these things.
Oh,
I
get the
think
old
the
phone.
last time they beat us, Robbie Fowler scored and they won 1-0.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I was
What?
Robbie Fowler scored for them the last time they beat us. It was 1-0. It wasn't the last game.
2-2. Last game was 2-2.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think Gary gave us a stat about. I can't remember how many games we've
not lost.
We've not lost at the City Ground.
Yeah, they've not.
There was also a stat about how we've done against them in the FA Cup, which I can't remember.
People comment before we go. When last time Liverpool beat us? I think someone give me a stat. I don't know when it was now, but if you give it, yeah. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you everyone for watching this. Before we do go, make sure everyone subscribe to Mr. Do Daily. Des, have you got the vlog up, Des, today?
I've been editing while we've been talking.
I was watching him. He was concentrating on something else.
This is shocking behaviour, people. This is why you should subscribe. You should subscribe to Do Daily.
Multi-purpose, still part for the analysis.
So people, like I said, well, there's a channel. The link is below. Make sure you do subscribe to Do Daily. He's got a fantastic channel. But yeah, he does rub it on, but it's worth it. It is worth it.
Not as much as me, apparently. Richard.
It's all right. Don't worry about Richard. Say sorry, Richard. Say sorry. If you don't say sorry to Michaela, you're not coming back.
Richard, the best thing you can do to make it up to Michaela is subscribe to Do Daily.
As a punishment.
Oh, Dave. But like I said, people, it's been a pleasure. If you are new to the channel, please do hit the like button as well. And before we do it, someone from America, thanks from Quadro USA. You're from there, aren't you, Michaela? Is that your area, Michaela?
Huh?
Is that from your area, Quadro USA?
No, I lived in Florida. It's a little bit different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Scott, from USA.
That's very cool, though.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Much praise for that. Right, people. Thank you very much for that. I'm back on. When am I back on? Friday, Reading preview. As well, people with comments. I'm going to the boxing as well. Is anyone going to the boxing on Saturday night? Michaela, I want my tickets, Michaela. Michaela's got my ticket.
Oh my God, I've sold them. Sorry.
Richard, where are you?
How much do you want for them, Michaela?
For you, Glenn, free.
Oh.
No, Lee Woods is going to win, and Nottingham is going to turn up for Lee. We're going to turn up.
And still.
He's going to beat that Irish Conlon.
Yeah. So people, if you are going to boxing, it's going to be fun. All right, so people, like I said, I'm back on Friday with a nice preview. Everyone make sure you subscribe to the Do Daily as well. And I thought, Matt's not here, but I know Michaela does this kind of stuff as well. So if anyone wants any stuff from Matt,
Glenn's our best customer. Look at that.
Love it.
Got as well. So
That's a man cave. That is Glenn.
So if anyone wants any,
look at my house. My new house is covered in forest art everywhere.
So if anyone wants any artwork, please, I put the link in below as well, so people go and get some stuff from Matt's the main man. Michaela's just a promoter.
I'm the glamour of the yes. I have literally nothing to do with it, but
I
get it signed.
Like I said, people. Oh, and last but not least, the Kevin Campbell event as well. If anyone wants to go to the Kevin Campbell event, Thursday, the 28th of April, please do. It's going to be a fantastic event. Because all of us are going. Well, Glenn's not going because he's busy.
Glenn.
Sorry, I can't go.
You're shocking, Glenn. Shocking.
I'm taking a group of kids to E-Dale the day after for 4 days, so I need to sleep.
Yeah,
not in Nottingham.
But Glenn, the best thing you can do, you can watch it live on my channel. It's live on my channel.
I'm definitely going to watch it live on your channel because I hear I can do that.
You can do that. So people, like I said, if you can't come to it, It's going to be live on the DoreOnTour channel as well. So that's another way you can watch it as well. Right, people, thank you very much, Des, Michaela, and Glenn. It's been a pleasure yet again. And last but not least, Liverpool, you Scarters, we're coming for you.
We're coming for you.
And we hate you.
Up the Reds.